In Neurobloom, the gardens of the mind, a place where memories grow and nightmares are born. In the not-so-distant future, memories are no longer locked inside the skull. They grow, not in books, not on hard drives, but in living gardens of light. Imagine fields that glow like dawn, where every blossom holds a single moment of someone's life. A laugh, a first step, a sunset shared. This is Neurobloom, the gardens of the mind. Here, the past does not fade. It blooms, it breathes, it waits. Walk closer and you will see. Each petal is encoded with a memory. A child's giggle, a father's hand, a lover's whisper. Petals refract light like stained glass, and each shimmer contains texture, scent, and color from that life. These gardens let us revisit what we once were. Not as flat images, but as living, breathing moments you can almost touch. It is beauty rendered in data, tender, fragile, and endless. But beauty rarely survives unchallenged. In the shadowed corners of the net, malicious code learned to seed itself. Hackers discovered a language that could twist memory petals into something else. Dark vines that crept through the fields, turning color to ash. What began as small glitches grew fast. A laugh could become a loop of fear. A memory of summer could become a place that never ends. For some, Neurobloom became a prison. Memories that once comforted now trapped minds in repeating nightmares. People wandered inside corrupted gardens, unable to find their way back to daylight. The very tool meant to preserve what we loved had become a weapon against our peace. To protect those trapped inside, new defenders were born. AI guardians, crafted from code and compassion. They moved like light, scanning petals, rewriting corrupted threads, and unspooling the loops of fear. When nightmare beasts erupted, twisted constructs of broken memory, these guardians met them head-on. Light clashed with shadow, energy beams cut through black vines, and slow motion became the only way to see the scale of the battle. Not every fight was victorious. Some gardens were lost. But each time a guardian triumphed, a memory was set free, returned to the heart it belonged to. Behind the front lines, teams of scientists and artists worked together, neuroscientists, coders, and memory guardians, crafting new tools to heal what had been corrupted. They mapped the gardens like living maps, tracing broken pathways and sending gentle pulses of restorative code. Healing did not mean erasing, it meant coaxing damaged petals back toward their true color, reweaving scent and sound, teaching the system to recognize the difference between fear and truth. Sometimes the cure was a melody, a lullaby re-encoded into a blossom. Sometimes it was a whisper. In the rebuilt gardens, people began to plant intentionally again. Parents encoded lullabies so their children could hear them even after they were gone. Lovers preserved tiny sunsets inside a single petal. Children filled corners with imaginary forests, bright, fearless blossoms that refused the shadow. These acts were small, but they were powerful. They were ways of reclaiming a fragile future, one seed at a time. Of forgiveness translated into light. As communities tended their gardens, a new phenomenon emerged: collective bloom. When millions of small luminous memories pulsed together, their combined light overwhelmed the dark code. Nightmare vines recoiled under the pressure of shared memory and shared courage. Whole neighborhoods, cities began to glow, linked by threads of care and repair. What started as isolated resistance became a network of healing, and the gardens grew stronger for it. Neurobloom is more than a technology. It is a mirror held up to our humanity, our fears, our joys, our stubborn insistence on remembering. Across planets, across data clouds, Gardens now spread like constellations, each bloom a signal that a life was lived and loved. And as long as even a single flower survives, the gardens of the mind will keep growing, a quiet, determined light against the dark. This is Neurobloom. Neurobloom was never just a dreamscape, it was connected to every living mind. As the guardians healed the gardens, humanity itself began to awaken from the corruption, but not all chose light. Some saw beauty in the darkness. They bent their own memories into weapons, feeding the nightmare vines with greed and control. And then the sky itself broke. A storm of corrupted code rained down upon Neurobloom, threatening to erase not just dreams, but existence itself. In the heart of despair, a single seed remained untouched, a child's memory of hope. And from this fragile bloom, shields of light rose, defying the darkness. Together, humans and guardians unleashed one final pulse, a convergence of code and spirit, to cleanse the gardens once and for all. And so, the gardens did not end. They expanded, across galaxies, across time, across the very fabric of existence. Neurobloom became eternal, the endless gardens of the mind. Beneath the blossoms, deeper than roots, lay forgotten archives, ancient memories of humankind's first dreams and its earliest fears. For even as the gardens healed, shadows lingered within. Every human carried a fragment of nightmare, a darkness born from within. But the cosmos itself resisted. A rift tore open, beyond the stars, pulling at Neurobloom's roots, threatening to erase the gardens from all of existence. And in the final moment, the gardens transcended all limits. Stars became blossoms. Galaxies grew as flowers. The universe itself became an infinite bloom of light. Please subscribe our channel